Okay, so finally, why is it called UV editing? Well, U and V refer to the axis or the dimensions on the 2D texture. U going across the x-axis and V going across the y-axis. Why don't we call it X and Y? Because we already have X, Y and Z or Z on a 3D model. So it's just a way to distinguish between texture coordinates and 3D coordinates. It's as simple as that. And that's why it's called UV unwrapping. It just refers to the texture coordinates. Okay, so our project this week. Let me just pull this down and let me unhide Suzanne or everybody. Our project this week is to take your model from last week and unwrap it. You can show me screenshots in World or using a screenshot program, send them to me and I will upload them. You can show me some screenshots of how you unwrapped. This obviously is a bad example where we reset everything, but obviously my head is a better example. So you can show me screenshots like that and we'll see how we're doing with unwrapping. And it really is important to get a grasp on unwrapping early. We should really, once we carved out a basic model, before we start refining it too much, that is the point where we would want to unwrap. Because once that unwrap is defined, if we add extra loops or well, let's do this. We can see the basic outline of the unwrap here. Let me just go into object mode and I'm going to add a subdivision modifier, which is that one, and I'm going to smooth it out a bit. Smooth shading, just so it looks a little bit better. Okay, and I'm going to apply that modifier for this one. When I go back into edit mode and select everything, you see it has kept the same UV unwrap and it's added the extra geometry where it should be. Okay, this doesn't work with extruding because extruding you're creating brand new geometry, but with things like subdivision and adding loop cuts, it does. So we should get used to, let me Control Z a couple of times, get this back to its original form. There we go. So doing it early makes our job a lot easier later on. Imagine when we had this subdivided, let me do this again. Okay, I'm just going to apply this and into edit mode. Now instead of selecting 12 edges around the ear this time, I would have to go around, select a lot more. It's a lot more tedious, a lot more time consuming. And there's no need for it because if we did it in the early stages when we had a rough shape, this becomes automatic. So anyway, that's the project this week, is to unwrap your monkey model and send me some pictures.